folks, how y'all doing? This is Dane at JONAH Guitars. Hey, I got a Les Paul on the bench for a setup, and the selector switch was doing something weird. The customer, he'd stick it down to treble and the switch would just pop up every time. So I pulled the switch out, and there was a lot. I'll redirect the camera. So I pulled the switch out, and there were actually some shards left down in the pocket there that had lacquer or whatever the finish is sprayed all over them. They were like little spears. And when I pulled the switch out, I just raked all those out of there. And I thought between the wires maybe interfering with the operation of the switch, or those splinters that were still left in the cavity, something might have gotten into the switch that was causing it to be a problem. So I had the switch out. It worked perfectly. There was nothing hindering it whatsoever. Put the thing all back together and was working on the setup. And when I went to play it again, I threw the switch down and it popped. Now, right now it's not popping back out, but it just takes very little to get the switch to pop back out of there. And I, without assistance whatsoever, I was, just setting things up and checking pickup heights and all that kind of stuff, and balancing things out, and it was popping up on me. Well, it's very, very easy now. It's staying, but it's just too easy to pop up. And then I thought I was taking the knob off to go ahead and pull the switch out again, and I flipped the switch over, and it just pops in and locks super tight right there. Same thing here. So what's actually happening is the bottom of the switch is hitting the lock nut. Now, this is one of those lock nuts that go inside the hole. There's a bigger hole in the guitar. Some of the guitars now have like a rubber bushing, some of the semi-hollows, to kind of isolate the pop on the switch, because it echoes through the body. So anyway, I'm going to, I got myself a 1032 screw here. I'm going to put this in the drill press. I'm going to file a bevel on the bottom edge of this switch tip here and see what happens there. It doesn't look like it's interfering by much, but it's definitely interfering, which is weird. I mean, how many of these things did they produce that have that issue? I don't know. I'm going to file it down. I'll come back and see if it took care of the problem. It's a little bit more, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's definitely catching better. It's not catching as good as if there's no knob. There's just enough on there still that it's interfering. I think I'm going to try to do a little ridge right there. Cut that corner out of that switch, because it's doing it, but it's not catching like the top does for some reason. All right, one more trip. Okay, we're back with that. I don't know why this light is, maybe it's just too bright. Let's see what happens. Can you see that any better? Anyway, it's got a little step in it. Looks like I turned a custom knob on a lathe here. Now that's driving me crazy. Anyway, it's good. It's just, I don't think that will just pop up just for playing. Okay, I think we'll call that good. Actually, it feels pretty good. It's pretty tough. It's about the same as the top. Yeah, okay. So the other thing I did while I was on here, because this is just going to be a really short video, but it's kind of got a fat neck. I'm not a real fan of fat necks. I got 10s on here. It just felt, for being, at 4/64's action with, probably about 9 thousandths relief in the neck. Everything's, I dialed the nut in. Everything is really good. It just felt piggy to play. It just felt harder than it ought to be to play, you know? So anyway, it came in, the tailpiece was all the way decked. And surprisingly enough, it was all the way decked, but I still had a little bit of string clearance between the bridge and the strings. But I decided to just experiment, and I raised this tailpiece up because I think I've heard some stuff about that. So it's either in my head and I drank the Kool-Aid, or it actually feels like it plays easier with that bridge, that stop piece up off, and a lower break angle, less break angle at the bridge. The strings seem to have a little more of what I'm used to as far as the way they should feel. Could be, I don't know, either that or I set up a couple guitars with 9s yesterday, and then I set one up with 11s, but I tuned it down to E flat. So maybe I've just been playing a bunch of spongy guitars, and this one just felt stiff. But between the fat neck and the number 10s, I wasn't digging it, but it definitely feels better now, like that. Anyway, so switch tip, little quick tip on that. Switch tip, quick tip, switch tip. The other thing is you don't have to have a drill press to do this. You could chuck that up in a hand drill and just hold it with one hand and file with the other, or get an assistant to hold the drill and spin it while you file it. So any way to just be able to, you know, turn a little bit of plastic off the edge of that knob will fix that problem. Can't imagine this was the only one having it, because they must have made a bunch of these. Okay. Adios, folks. Thanks for watching.